Hello everyone, welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about this Live Free barrel. That's their logo. You can see that little, get this in focus. There it is. Okay, so this is a fairly inexpensive barrel. It only costs something like $65 now. Okay, I don't know what it cost a few years ago, but like in the last 6 months, this has been a fairly inexpensive barrel that's been holding its color really well. Okay, because I'm going to show you this barrel over here that's got like close to 10,000 rounds on it, and you can see how this is completely discolored. Okay. Now, what also happened to this is right over here where the barrel lockup is, the metal started like kind of peeling back a little bit, and I did take a Dremel and kind of smooth it out a little bit over here because it was peeling back, which is not that big of a deal. But the point is that the coloring process that they use on this barrel is very different than that other barrel. Now, you might say, well, this barrel's got 10,000 rounds on it. But the thing here is that most of the color that came off of this barrel came off in the first, like, 1,000 rounds, okay? And then after that, it kind of settled in. You know, there was probably a little bit of additional color loss, but it's, you know, it's not coming off at the same rate as it came off in the first 1,000 rounds, okay? So most of the color that came off this barrel came off in the first 1,000 rounds. Let me show you guys the rifling too. So like I said, this got about 10,000 rounds on it. And it shoots fine. I mean, I shoot this thing at the 65 yards over there. I mean, I not that I hit it everything, but like I'll get like 5 out of 10 on a target, a 2 foot by 1 foot target at 65 yards. The barrel's plenty accurate. Now, by comparison, if we look at this Live Free barrel, okay, so this one's got about 1,000 rounds on it. You can see this one's holding its color a lot better. Okay, so like I said, the most of the color that came off that other one came off in the first 1,000 rounds. Okay. Now the only thing that you'll notice is right over here with the barrel, you can see how it's peeling back a little bit. Okay, this one I haven't dremeled off. I haven't, you know, because I basically need to take a file on this and just dremel that little edge off a little bit over here. But you can see how it's peeling back a little bit. But this is the only real area of discoloration. All right, so this is about 1,000 rounds on this gun, on this barrel. Show you the rifling. So the nice thing about this is only a $65 barrel. I mean, this is also a $65 barrel too. At the time that I bought this, this was like, I don't know, I think a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. At that time, it was hard to get parts. So I paid $100 for this, but most of these barrels, the standard barrels, were going for like more like $150. Today, both of these barrels are about $65, $70. Okay, if you go to Live Free's website, this is basically a $65 barrel. So if you want to have a black barrel, right, that holds its color, this is the place to go. Go to Live Free. If you go get any of the other ones, you know, unless they have, and I don't know what coloring process they use, right? You can go to their website and you might find some details on that. But the point here is that these other ones or won't, like this one over here, won't hold its color well. Okay. What I want to do now is I have here a factory Glock. Okay, this is a Glock 17. Okay, this barrel has 95,000 rounds on it. Okay. So at 95,000 rounds, this thing is in really good condition. I mean, there's a little color that came off of it. All right. All right, you can see there's a little bit over here, but this is an excellent condition. I don't know what coloring process they use at Glock, because this is a factory Glock barrel, but this is obviously superior to it. And so there's the rifling at 95,000 rounds. Now, I tested the accuracy of this at, I think it was around 70,000 rounds at 30 yards. And I actually did a video up somewhere that I posted. I basically put that Glock 17 in a micro Ronnie, which basically braced it on the table. And I shot it at 30 yards, which is about where those rims are over there. And I saw that I think I was getting something like an 8-inch group, and then I compared it to another Glock that only had 2,000 rounds on it, and I think it was getting like a 5-inch group. And the micro Ronnie, it's not like the best thing. You know, it's not like it's not like having a rifle, even though it looks like a rifle. You know, you're basically putting the pistol inside of a shoe. The optic is on the shoe, it's not on the gun. Okay, so but it's still a good way to compare the accuracy loss of this barrel, which has 95. Oh, actually, at the time, you know, it had 70,000 rounds on it. So I was getting an 8-inch group with this barrel at the time, compared to a 5-inch group with a another Glock that had only 2,000 rounds on it. Again, I'll give you another look at this rifling. Okay, so there it is. So I'm gonna say, nobody beats Glock. Okay, nobody beats Glock, and I'm not a Glock fanny boy. If you guys watch all of my videos on my channel, you will see that I hardly ever shoot the Glock 17. I'm always shooting these other guns that I have built that I happen to like a lot more. The reason why this gun has such a high round count is because this is the gun I was using prior to starting to build guns, right? So I've been training people for about 12 years. I only started building these guns about 2 years ago. So for the first 10 years of training people, this is the pistol that I used to train people. And the reason why I started using this gun is because 12 years ago, you know, when I was doing some research, I found that a lot of people said at the time that this is a very durable gun. And as somebody that's in the business of training people, I don't want to use a gun that I know I got to keep fixing, right? And I did try using some other guns, and I almost immediately started having problems on them as I started running up the round counts. This gun over here was a profitable gun to use because it didn't break. Okay, so it went 75,000 rounds before anything on all original parts, including the recoil spring. And then I did a video on this at 75,000 rounds. The trigger spring broke. And at the time, I did not know how to repair it. I didn't know anything other than just a basic takedown for cleaning. So what I did is I put this in the box and I sent it to Glock. And then Glock basically they changed the trigger spring, and they sent me back a list that I posted online. I did a video on it where I read off all the parts that they changed. I kept using this gun, which went another 10,000 rounds before the same trigger spring broke again. Okay, so the first time the trigger spring went 75,000 rounds. The second time it only went another 10,000 rounds. Okay, so why? I have no idea. It's just how it happened. But at that point, I had already started building these other guns over here. So the second time it broke, I was able to fix it myself. I didn't have to go back to Glock. But the piece that broke the second time was an original Glock part because it came back from Glock. Now, interestingly, when I went to change the trigger spring and basically take out the trigger group, the slide catch spring, right, also broke, right? So that's the spring that basically activates this thing also broke. So I did have to change that part. So that was at I think I was at 85,000 rounds. And at that point, I was starting to build this. So this gun went another 5,000 rounds up to about 90,000 rounds. And at that point, I completely transitioned out of this gun and I went to using those guns over there. And the reason why I made that transition is because there's no optics on this. And I quickly realized that I can train people faster with guns that have optics. And this was back in 2020. So at the time, I couldn't get a Glock MOS, right? The Glock MOS, which is what I would have bought if it was available, was not available at the time. So then I went some other route, and the other route available to me was learn to build your own guns. So that's how I got into the gun building. Okay, let's put this back together. So, point of this video is that the live-free barrels, if you want to have a black barrel, that's not expensive. That's not a factory Glock barrel. This is a really good choice. It's only about a $65 barrel, and it seems to hold its color really well. Now, for the most part, when I build most of these guns, I prefer to use a stainless steel barrel that has no coloring on it, because it's just one less thing that can go wrong, right? Because if I'm buying colored barrels, unless because now I know I can get the live-free barrel, and I know that it's gonna the color is gonna stay the way it's supposed to. But for the most part, I get stainless steel barrels which don't have any coloring on them. They look nice, right? I like the way they look anyway. But if for whatever reason you want to have a black barrel, the live-free barrel is a very good, inexpensive option. Put this back together. So that's what I wanted to share with you guys today. I wanted to share that experience. I wanted to show you these different barrels, how they were wearing out. And give a little credit to Glock, man, because like I said, 95,000 rounds. I mean, look, you got a little holster wear over here, but this looks like a brand new gun. So whatever paint process they put on this, I mean, it's good. I mean, they make very, very durable guns. However, I prefer these guns. Now the great thing about these guns, right? Okay, because if I was only gonna have one gun and that was it, I would say, yeah, give me a Glock. Because if I can only have one gun, I want the gun that's least likely to break or wear or whatever. But all machines break, right? So even this gun, even the Glock, broke twice. Once at 75,000 rounds, once at 85,000 rounds. So all guns break. What is preferable, okay, is to have lots of Glock-like guns with lots of Glock-like parts, all right, that you can fix anytime they break. So I don't care if this gun breaks, because I got a whole box full of parts for this gun. Okay, so it's just another just way of thinking about things. Since I have lots of parts stockpiled, I'd rather be shooting these guns and just replacing the parts as they break. In the meantime, not breaking this gun and trying to keep this gun, because this gun's about halfway through its life, I think. All right, I think these Glocks are good for something like 200,000, 250,000 rounds before the barrel gets completely shot out. So I'd rather not use this gun and kind of preserve it. So I no longer use this to train people unless somebody specifically asks me for a factory Glock 17. I use these guns instead, wear these out, and then easily replace the parts as they break. So hope you guys found that interesting. If you're not a member of my channel, subscribe. Make sure you guys are following me on Odyssey, which is an uncensored platform. Over there, my channel name is Pocono Tactical. On Rumble, I'm Pocono Guns. On YouTube, I got Pocono Shooting, Absolute Gun Rights, and the original Safa channel, which goes back to 2006. Talk to you all soon.